Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got my little coffin nails out, so we're going to do a press on nail set, so I'll be able to show you guys what it looks like on my hand at the end of the video. We've got Love Veil, I think, and Food Coma from Madam Glam. Those are our two coloured gel polishes. We also have a glossy top coat and a base coat, and we also have acrylic for one. So as you, or at least a couple of you might know, I've been uploading quite a lot of like TikTok shorts kind of thing on my YouTube, so it almost became shorts being my acrylic content and then my regular videos just being gel polish kind of content. So when it comes to acrylic, I'm not a pro in any means, and it's still a fairly new like category for me, so I really do want to create content like proper nail designs with acrylic, but I feel like it's just a practice game at the moment. So eventually I will start uploading more and more content around acrylic, along with my, of course, gel polish designs still. But yeah, maybe we can start off with like one nail designs and different techniques we can try out together, and then maybe slowly, gradually, you guys can watch me grow with my acrylic and create some nail designs. But for today, we've got a press and nail set. For this one, I really wanted to create a design that looks as if you went to a nail salon and walked out with acrylic nails. So that was my goal for today, which is why the design itself isn't too hard, really. But when it's on your hand, it literally looks so good. I love them. They're probably one of my most favorite press on nail sets. When I put them on my hand, I just loved looking at them. They look really nice. So we've got 3 nails that are the nude Food Coma shade from Madam Glam, and then we're going to have 2 nails that are an ombre. So the ombre nails is the index nail and the ring finger. Everything else is nude, and then I will off camera go ahead and do a second layer. So on camera I'm just showing you guys the first layer. I did also apply a base coat which was cured, and now we're going in with our gel. So when it comes back out, there's a couple of different things we're doing today. So the acrylic was out because we're going to do some 3D flower work today. So usually on my channel I would work with 4D carving gel, so it's almost like a gel consistency, but not really. It's almost like a Play-Doh-y, I don't know, moldable thing you can do, and it doesn't dry or anything until you pop it into the lamp. But since I've obviously been trying out acrylics more and more, I tried to challenge myself and do some flowers. So we'll be at that stage in just a second. But before we go on to that, I am doing French tips, and we're doing 3 of them. So the full covered Food Coma nails are going to have a French tip on them. So we've got 3 French tips here. I left all the footage of it. I just really sped it up, just because it's very repetitive. And again, off camera, I will go ahead and do another layer of the pink because, you know, I'm just trying to make it opaque, and I'm working with these nails as if they were real human nails. You would usually go in with 2 layers of everything that you're doing. So that's what we're doing here as well. So that's what I'm doing there. A little disclaimer of Madam Glam gel polishes. They are literally the best gel polishes I've ever tried. I love them to absolute pieces. If you had to remove all of my products that I hold and challenge me to just use one and never use another one or any other products ever again, it would be these gel polishes. I would keep them always and every time. I have all these other brands in my collection, and I always get drawn to Madam Glam. Always. And yeah, so I will have a discount code for you guys if you want to save yourself some money. There's a link and a code possibly for you guys to save some money. Yeah, so now that that's done, 2 layers have been applied. I've already also applied my crystals. I just thought I'd skip it because this flower part is going to take quite some time actually, so I thought you might as well just see already where the crystals have been placed. So if you have any tips and tricks, let me know. I am not a pro. I am very proud with how my flowers came out to be. I feel like I'm still trying to, or struggling in a way, to get my ratio right, and I'm also struggling to know when to press down on the bead. But my method right now is place the bead. If it's just too wet, then I'm just, you know, trying to manage it and put it together. If it's just the right consistency, then that's great. And to find out when to press, I just let it be for a couple of seconds. As you can see, I place it down, just leave it, because my track record is they're usually a bit too wet, so I let them be for a bit. And then I just start tapping on it. If I can tap into it and see that it's moldable and it just stayed as I wanted it to, like as I pressed it, then I go ahead and press. But if I press down and it just becomes like a little ball of, you know, just kind of goes back to how it was in a little wet bead, then I carry on waiting. And then I go again. So you'll notice that acrylic doesn't actually dry that fast. And I know there's a couple of methods of popping, I think it's acetone into your monomer to make it set quicker. That's all completely up to you. I'm a complete beginner, so I've really wanted to challenge myself to use the regular monomer and just go from there basically. So my brush that I'm using today is from Glitterbell. It's their size 5. I believe it's their one and only acrylic 3D flower brush, I believe. Although I did buy this a year or two ago now, so they maybe have added extra, who knows? They're constantly expanding their product range, which is amazing. So maybe they have something else there. But that's the one I'm using today, and I like to start off with the middle petal so then I can work on the sides later. So once I perfect my middle petal, I then place the beads, and the reason I also like to do that is because I can place 2 beads at a time after I complete that first petal. I don't want to place 2 wet beads next to each other just in case I get my consistency wrong and they're runny beads and they end up blending into one another and becoming a big mess. So through my trial and error, I've learnt to just do it this way. So again, on the bottom one, I believe we're only doing 2 petals on the bottom little crystal. That part of the nail is very, very small. So, oh, I'm going brave, I think. I'm going to place another bead. I don't recommend, especially if you're trying out for the first time. I don't recommend doing that. But yeah, that's going down there. So I'm wiping off my monomer from the brush, and then I'm pressing down at an angle at my petals. And then if I want to kind of make it look cutesy, I then kind of tuck the bottom part in nearer to the crystal to make it look a bit more, I don't know, like, I don't know how to explain it. It just changes the look of the petal a little bit. So it depends which kind of method you're going for. If you really like this design and you would love to recreate it, but you're not into acrylics, or you just don't know how to use it or create flower acrylics, then I have a lot of different videos on my channel with using 4D carbon gel or 3D carbon gel. If you type that into my channel, or just write that and then Glamify Babe on YouTube or on YouTube, then my video should pop up. And even though I might be, doing a different nail design, the method is still the same no matter what kind of thing you're doing. So definitely check it out. And if you are also a beginner, I personally actually really recommend trying the carving gels out first. That's why I'm able to create these flowers and actually make them look somewhat decent, because I've spent a lot of time working with carving gels, and I find that the method is very similar, to be honest. Once you place the bead, like I would with carving gel, I'll roll it on my hand and place the bead down. With a silicone tool, I would press at an angle to create my petal, and it's basically what I'm doing here too. I'm placing the bead, waiting for it to just do its thing, and then once it's ready, I just press at an angle to create a petal. Literally identical methods, and that's how I'm able to do what I'm doing today. So that's kind of nice, because it kind of saved me wasting a lot of acrylic, actually, just playing about with carving gels. So for this nail, we're actually going to make a much larger flower. So these petals I'm going to press out a lot, actually. The other ones, as you saw, they were tiny little cutesy flowers. This one is really pressed out, big petals. Then on the side, which is the part that I always struggle on, and I'm still really working on it, and there's just a lot to do there. With acrylic flowers, a lot of techs do these like really long pointy petals, and those are the ones I'm really struggling with at the moment to perfect. So I still feel like it looks alright, and luckily it's on the side, so it's not too tragic. But yeah, still a lot to do when it comes to fixing that and getting it way better. But the thing with that petal is that right at the top, it has to be like pointy and everything. So I'm trying to kind of press out the acrylic as far up as I can, and then point it at the top there. I don't know where I've disappeared, but maybe changing an ad or something, because I always watch YouTube when I film. So now we're on our last petal. I'm going to place it. This one really worried me because I didn't have a lot of space there. So once I place my bead, which is a bit higher than the crystal, using the pointy part of my brush, I'm kind of, I actually managed to write, but with the first one, no, I'll do it anyways. So with the pointy part of my brush, I just kind of drag out the wet acrylic bead a bit closer to the crystal. And then again, we're going to repeat the exact same process. I'm pressing it out, really pushing it as far down the nail as I want it to, and then I am creating like a pointy part right at the bottom. So that bit is done. I'm really sorry about the colour here. It's like almost overexposed. I do apologise. But once that's kind of set in stone, it just dried into place. Acrylic does not need to go into the lamp. I am just scattering a couple of beads of rhinestone glue gel, and then I am going to pick up some tiny little AB crystals to pop into that. I'm trying to pick out the same sizes as much as I can. I think somewhat I did alright, but maybe here and there you might find one that's ever so slightly smaller or larger. So that's what I'm doing there. And you want to do the exact same thing on the other flower nail too. I'm not too sure if I've included it. I think I did include it in the video. So we'll do that in a second. Here I felt like I needed an extra crystal. Like it wasn't as, I don't know, just something was missing. So I wanted to add an extra crystal, and it made me very happy adding that extra crystal. It felt like everything kind of worked now. And then at this stage I noticed that I just placed some rhinestone glue gel just in areas that I didn't need it to, so I'm just wiping it away. If as a little, I guess, tip that I didn't do here, then I should have, because it would have saved me so much time, placing your rhinestone glue gel down, then floating your top coat on top of it, and then placing your crystals on top would have made your life a lot easier, because after this I didn't actually include the footage, but I had to grab a nail art brush and just go all around the crystals with top coat, which was a pain. It took so much time. I mean, so much time, probably not crazy amounts, but still enough to be like, ugh, why am I doing this? Like, there is a method to avoid this, and I didn't do it. So that's the method. Place your rhinestone glue gel down first, float your top coat on, then place your crystals, secure it, and now that way you've almost got a 2-in-1. You've got your nail top coated and your crystals put in place. So these nails have now been top coated, and now it's time for our croc nails. So this part I love doing. It's so easy. I feel like anybody can do it, and you don't literally need any skills. You just get yourself an art brush. As long as you can do like lines, it doesn't even have to be a straight line. It's pretty much like a blob of gel polish. So I'm using the exact same pink that we used earlier, and then on top of the pink French tip I'm just doing lines. So I'm starting off with the center lines, and then once that's done I'm doing the side lines, and the side lines go in between the first set of lines that we've done, if that makes sense. Once that's done, grab yourself some clear acrylic, and this part of the video you have to have clear acrylic. The petals, of course, you could avoid and everything, but if you wanted to do croc nails, you have to have some clear acrylic. You don't have to get the good stuff. You don't have to spend a lot of money on some, you know, branded, good quality acrylic. You can get yourself some really, really cheap acrylic on AliExpress or Shein or any of those sorts of places. You can really get it cheap, and you know, it will do the job. As long as you don't want to use it for actually capping, you know, or doing actual acrylic nails, just for doing these like 3D sweater looks for Christmas or croc nails like I'm doing now, those ones would work just fine. Of course, I've got quite a lot of acrylics anyway, so I am using a Glitter Bells acrylic, but that's like a proper branded, you know, as if you were to do acrylic nails and stuff. So but that's all I had, so I just used that. So I just sprinkle it on until I notice that the gel polish is no longer wet. You will notice when that happens. When you sprinkle it on even a little bit and look at it, it will look wet and almost like it absorbed it, and it's still really, really wet. But if you keep applying the clear acrylic, you will notice that it will stop doing that eventually, and that's the best time basically to pop into the lamp. Once you're happy with it, when it comes out the lamp, brush away any excess and you're good to go. So I show you me doing this one for the last time. We'll repeat it on the pinky, but that's no longer in the footage today. And we're basically finished. Now I'll show you guys it on my hand in 3, 2, 1, and here are the final results. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I would love to see you all in my next video. Bye guys!